grateful to be here and to be moving together. Let's start by tilting our pelvis into neutral, bringing the top two bones over the bottom pubic bone. If you find that you have to keep rolling back, tilt your pelvis upright and sit up higher on something. It will help a lot, even just a pillow. And I know I talk about that a lot, but I bring it up a lot because it's so important to keep checking. But let's walk your feet wide, turn your toes to point forward, your ankles a little bit in front of your knees, and then we'll just let our thighs drop in and open. And try to go nice and slowly. And you can roll from the outer edges of your feet to the inner edges of your feet. And if you feel any discomfort, just don't go into such a big range of motion. Take your time, feeling your body start to tune into your breath. Relaxing any clenching around the thigh muscles. All right, next time your thighs roll in, you can let the outer edges of your feet roll up. Just let your thighs relax here. Reach your arms out to your sides, palms face forward, and let's circle our arms up slightly in front of us and back down. And don't think too much about it, but maybe your thumbs tap in the middle. Becoming present with your breath. And as we go through class, if I say something like, keep breathing, I'm aware that you are breathing because you're alive and you're moving. But what we tend to do is when we do a movement that's new to us or something we haven't done in a while, we tend to hold our breath, even if just a little bit. So if I say keep breathing, it's not that I'm not aware that you're breathing. I just want you to make sure that your breath is flowing easily. And you don't have to take deeper breaths. Just be aware of your breath. Okay, next time your arms go up, your thumbs come together, open your thighs up, let your thighs drop open so the outer edges of your feet are down and the inner edges are lifting up. Hook one thumb under the other one and then we'll just switch. So it doesn't matter which one you do first. Feel as though you're pulling your thumbs away from each other, like your elbows are pulling out to the side. Side bend to the right. Come up nice and slowly. Keep pulling on the thumbs. Side bend to the left. And come up nice and slowly, and then release your thumbs, and let's go up and down with the arms a few more times. Palms facing forward, breathing. Inner thighs rolling open. Pelvis upright, ribs relaxed down. And then next time your arms go up, again, hook one thumb underneath, pull the thumbs away from each other a little. Turn the belly button to the right. Turn the belly button to the left. Unwind, switch the hooking of the thumbs, pull them apart gently. Belly button turns to the right. And belly button turns to the left. And then come back to center, reach your arms out. Now keep your thighs open, just put the soles of your feet down, the center of your ankles down. If your thighs really easily roll in, or if you find they do, you can go back to the outer edges of your feet for a while. But let's rotate our arm bones here, all the way one direction and all the way the other direction, tuning into the breath. Smooth inhales and exhales. Now, when we turn our arm bones forward and our palms face behind us, that's internal rotation. When we go the other direction, it's usually a lot harder to turn, but you're trying to turn a little bit more external rotation. Let's go the direction where it's easier, internal rotation. It's still a nice stretch for your shoulders and your arms. If you find your arms are up here, drop them down a little bit. You're in internal rotation, and nice and slowly drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Bring your head up, left ear to left shoulder. Bring your head up, turn and look over your right shoulder. Slowly turn and look over your left shoulder. Come back to center, rotate your arm bones all the way the other way. And as you rotate into this rotation, chances are your ribs might want to lift up. So think of ribs down, but pelvis upright, and keep trying to turn those palms. At first, they might only get flat to the ceiling. Over time, turn a little bit behind you, and then slowly drop your right ear to your right shoulder. and your left ear over to your left shoulder. And then bring your head up and center. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Keep rotating through the arm bones. Breathing. Turn and look over your left shoulder. And then unwind. And now as you bring your arms up, your pinky fingers tap, and you're trying to go back down in that rotation. So elbows stay slightly forward, palms turn behind you. If that's not happening yet, that's okay. Just try to keep your palms as flat towards the ceiling as you can without them turning forward. And let's go up and down here, tuning into the breath. Smooth inhales and exhales. Okay, next time your arms are by your sides, your feet are wide, you might have to scoot your heels back a little bit. You're going to turn your palms to face down, lift your heels up, hold, flip your wrists one direction, flip your wrists the other direction, lower your heels down, walk your feet in a step. They're still pretty far away from each other. Lift your heels up, press equally through the balls of the feet. So if your ankles twist out to the side, push down more through the base of the big toe. Flip your wrist up, flip your wrist down, hold, walk your feet in another step closer to hip distance apart. Lift your heels up, press equally through the balls of the feet. Wrist flip one way, wrist flip the other way, then walk your feet in to hip distance apart. Lift up off of your heels, press equally through the balls of the feet. Wrist flip one way, wrist flip the other way. Now go back to wrist up. Drop your chin down to your chest, lower your heels down, and just keep extending your wrist fingers up and roll your chin a little bit side to side, softening the face, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your lower belly. Bring your chin back to center, turn your wrist down. If you lifted your head up, drop it back down, and with your wrist turning down, roll your neck a little bit side to side here. Smooth inhales and exhales. And then bring your chin back to center, relax your arms, and lift your head up. Okay, let's tuck the top of the right foot under for a top of the foot stretch. So putting the top of your right foot tucked under. And then from here, with the top of your right foot tucked under, we'll reach our arms into cactus arms. And we'll start with our palms facing each other. And then we'll bring our pinky fingers together and open our arms out to the side. So palms face together, or face forward, or face each other, pinky fingers face forward. And curl in and open, curl in and open, curl in and open. Now turn your palms to face forward. Still the same top of the foot tucked under. Adjust if needed. Curl in like you're clapping your hands and open. Curl in, open, breathing, curl in, open, curl in, open, and now turn your palms to face away from each other. So as they curl in, it's your thumbs coming together, and open, curl in, open, curl in, open, curl in, open. Extend your arms out, lower your hands down, switch feet. Now, if at any point it bothers your knee or it's too long for the top of the foot stretch, just come out early. That's the case with everything we do. Bend your elbows back into cactus arms. And from here, how about just rotating your forearms? So try to just rotate your forearms, your wrists and your hands go along for the ride. And then turn your palms to face forward and now rotate your upper arms. So your elbows stay under your shoulder. You turn down and up, down and up. Keep letting your breath flow, down and up. Ribs relax down, down and up. And then we'll bring our hands together, turn our palms to face us, elbows come in as close as they can, keeping your elbows as close as they start out. Lift up and down. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Find that center spot. Try to keep your elbows up together. Split your forearms apart, together, apart, together. Relax those top of the foot muscles. Apart, together, apart, together. Reach your arms out, stretch them out to the side, relax your arms down, and then release the top of that foot stretch. Stretch your legs nice and long here, heels down, toes up in the air. Actively flex your ankles, but try to relax your toes so they're not pulling back. And then sitting up tall here, we'll take our right arm up and over for a side bend, and then our left arm up and over for a side bend, bending from the waist, bending from the ribs. Right arm goes over, breathing, and left arm goes over. Nice straight legs. Let's do 2 more side bend each side. Right arm goes over, and left arm, and right arm, and left arm. And then from there, your hands come down, flex your ankles, rotate forward. Your hands can come to your thighs, your hands can come to your shins. Now, if you always go down to your shins, maybe don't go down so low. Maybe feel the stretch from a different perspective. Tuning into your breath here. Okay, and then you're gonna bring your torso back upright, walk your legs together, and then from here, you're going to hinge forward again. Relaxing the tops of the thighs. You can bring your hands to your thighs, your hands to your shins. Keep flexing your ankles. Keep breathing. All right, and then come up and now cross your right ankle on top of your left ankle. Just stay there with your legs crossed like this. Reach your right arm up and over into a side bend. Rotate your palm to face behind you. Tap and extend. Tap, extend, tap, extend, tap. If you can feel like your bony shoulder blade winging off your back, can you wrap your elbow in a little bit more to widen that shoulder blade, and then maybe use your left hand to pull that right elbow back any amount. Tuning into your breath here, trying to spread your shoulder blade wider on your back. And then extend that arm, bring your hand down, and with your right ankle crossed on top, hinge forward any amount. You can bring your hands to your thighs, you can bring your hands to your shins, but it's not so much about how low your spine gets. Can you rotate your pelvis just a tiny little bit more forward? Breathing. Are your ankles twisting one way or the other? Can you untwist them so the inner and outer ankle look more even? All right, then come up and switch legs. Cross your left ankle on top of your right ankle. Take your left arm up and over into a side bend. Rotate that palm to face behind you. Tap, extend. 3 more like that. And then next time you tap, try to wrap that elbow in. Your shoulder blade spreads on your back. Maybe your other hand reaches up and pulls back a little bit without lifting the ribs up. Keep feeling like the shoulder blade is getting wider across your back. Letting your breath flow. And then extend that arm, pull your body up, and with your left ankle crossed on top of your right ankle, hinge forward any amount. Keep flexing your ankles, keep breathing, relax any clenching in the inner thighs, the outer thighs. And then slowly come up, uncross your ankles, bend your knees, and we'll go around for our first lunge. So spin around to your right, slide your left knee back. If it's comfortable, tuck your toes under, ankle right behind the knee, and then we'll do dynamic twists. So we'll really focus on our belly button. We'll turn to the back of the chair and unwind. And turn, feel the waist turn, legs and feet stay steady. And unwind. So especially that back foot, notice it wants to roll around. Turn from the belly and unwind. And turn from the belly button and unwind. Slide that leg forward, spin around to the other side. Your right knee slides back right under your hip, ankle right behind the knee, front ribs relax down, and we turn from the waist and unwind. turn from the waist, unwind, 2 more like that, turn from the waist, and unwind, and turn from the waist, and unwind. Okay, slide that foot forward, spin back around to the front of the chair. Now, if you have a block that you'd like to use, we're going to do the number 4 stretch. You can put the block inside your left foot and put your foot up on there or cross your ankle over. It's going to be a little bit harder to do the moves that we're going to do if your foot's on the block. So if that's the case, just stay longer, hinge forward from your hips. You'll get more benefit because over time, the more that you gently stretch your hips in that way, over time, the more range of motion you have. So don't worry about skipping the ankle and toe movements. You can always come back and do them later. But slide your ankle over so it's just above the bones on the sides of your ankle. And then we'll point and flex. Notice your bottom leg, is it veering in? Open it up so it's in line with your hip. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. And if you don't have any shoes on, again, you can skip this part and just stay here or fold forward. Weave your hand, your left hand, through the underside of your toes and try to wiggle your toes, fingers between your toes any amount. So spread out your toes a little bit there, and then just twist your foot a little bit side to side with your fingers between your toes. It doesn't have to be any specific kind of movement. Just go slow, just moving your fingers around in between your toes, maybe twisting the sole of your arch of your foot up towards the ceiling and then down towards the floor a little bit. And then you can keep your fingers between your toes if you'd like to, and check that bottom knee. Did it drop in like mine did? And then from there, hinge forward from your hips. Take a couple breaths here, maybe pull your fingers away from each other if it doesn't hurt your toes. So you're manually spreading your toes. And it's okay to just take a long stretch if you have your foot on a block. That's a great thing to do sometimes. All right, come up and release your toes and release your foot. Feet straight, ankles hip distance, block inside the left foot, and you're putting yourself up, and you're either just working on sitting your pelvis upright or forward folding. If your ankle crosses over, cross above, right above the bones. Sit up tall, watch that bottom knee collapsing in. First thing is to check the knee is in line with your top hip. And then point and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex, point and flex. Keep the flexion, weave your right hand through the bottom of your left toes, maybe just the tips of your fingers, maybe you go in a little bit more, and then you can just move your hand around. Oh look, my fingers don't go between my toes as easily on this foot. Interesting. Maybe bend your toes back and forth a little, twist the top of your foot, turn your inner arch towards the ceiling and then down to the floor. And just any movement that's slow and you're paying attention and you're just moving your toes and your foot around a little bit. And then how about holding? Check your bottom knee again and rotate your pelvis forward any amount. And you can spread your fingers out so you manually spread your toes out a little bit. Breathing. Watch that knee drop in it because it turns everything. It turns the entire, it turns the hips so it's not the same stretch. All right, and release your toes and come on up and uncross your ankle, and let's go back around to the right for another lunge. Slide your knee back, and this time we're going to do a twist and we're going to hold. So turning from the belly. Feel the waist turn. Relax the belly muscles, ribs drop down, ears slide back over the shoulders a little bit. You can use the back of your chair, but you're not trying to force, but you can use the chair just to get a little bit more turn right around your waist. Feel like your left waist is going forward and your right waist is pulling back. Check that back foot. Does it want to roll to one side? Can you feel more of your toes or more of the ball of your foot or your shoe touch down? And then unwind your twist, slide that leg forward and spin around to the other side, setting up your lunge, knee under the hip, ankle right behind the knee. And I say these things over and over again, but it's because we have a habit pattern of every time we come into a lunge, our back leg is a little crooked. That's very common, especially when people do the lunge on the mat. Ribs relax down, turning to the back of the chair, and hold. Feel the waist turn. You can use your hands a little bit. Ears slide back over the shoulders a little bit if you notice your head is always forward. And keep breathing here. Feel the turn of that waist. Is your front thigh collapsing in a little bit? Just notice. Notice the patterns of your body. What is your back foot and ankle doing? Letting your breath flow. All right, and unwind and slide that back leg forward, spin back around to the front of the chair. And then from here, we're going to feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, pelvis upright, ribs relax down, interlace your right pinky finger on the bottom, press away, hands low, spread your thumbs out and bring them in. Thumbs gently spread out and in, out and in, out and in. Spread the thumbs wide. Go forward towards the palms of your hands, gently back, forward towards the palms of the hands, gently back, thumbs forward and back, thumbs forward and back. Switch the crossing of the fingers, opposite pinky finger on the bottom, press away. This time you keep your thumbs spreading wide and back the whole time. Nice even interlace. Just push more through the heel of one hand and then more through the heel of the other hand. Keep spreading the thumbs, pressing through the heel of one hand, hands lower than your shoulders, pressing through the heel of the other hand. Bring your hands back to even. How about from here, just moving your hands in a little circular motion, or rather moving your arms in a little circular motion. Spread the thumbs away from each other, back towards you. Check the pelvis as you rotate your hands in the other direction in a circular motion. Good, and then release your fingers with your ankles right underneath your knees. Let's come up very slowly. So hinge forward, watch the thighs collapsing in or out. Push into your feet as soon as your hips come up, push back and slowly come up. The other thing is if you feel like you have to move really fast, that's another reason why you'd want to stack something under your chair and take your time coming up to stand. Come around to the back of your chair, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. Walk back, great time to practice neutral thigh bone rotation and kneecap relax. Get long through the spine, long through the back of the legs. Relaxing any clenching muscles, breathing. Does your head always drop down below your shoulders? Lift the back of your head up a little. Are your knees starting to want to bend? The longer you stay, the more your knees might want to go into that slight knee bend. And then go ahead and walk back up to the chair, and we'll stand with our 2 feet, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. And you're watching a few things. You want to keep your hips back over your heels. So you're trying not to let your pubic bone go forward. Your pelvis stays neutral, but your whole thigh bone moves back. So you're not necessarily sticking your buttocks back unless you're first trying to back your hips up, then you stick your buttocks back a little, but your pelvis stays in neutral as you back your thigh bones up. Keep your weight back in your heels. It's helpful to hold onto a wall if that helps. Push down through your right hip, hug it in, and you flex your left ankle. It comes up off the floor. Let's just go side to side. Press down, hug in, flex the ankle. Press down, hug in, flex the ankle. And part of the hugging in is it will start to rotate your thigh bone a little bit more into neutral. And we're just going side to side here, balancing on one leg, balancing on the other. Once you've really gotten feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, you can feel your outer hips working. Notice if as you go to the right, if you lean to the right, try to bring your torso back upright. Same thing as you push down through the left, you tend to lean to the left, bring your torso back upright. How about while you're here on one leg, trying to lift your kneecap up and down? So if you haven't done it on two legs yet, of course, you're still working on being upright with two legs. And then switch. But just know there's always something more to work on. Back your hips up over your heels. Okay, and then go back to pushing down through the right hip, hugging it in. Tuck the top of the left foot behind you. If your kneecap can relax when you're straight up and down, rotate your front thigh bone into neutral, making sure the edge of your foot is straight first. And then stay and rotate your back ankle a little bit side to side. From big toe to pinky toe side of the foot. If you find an angle that feels good to stay, you can stay there for a moment. You are trying to relax the muscle to some degree. So if it's really, really tense, put a towel or put a pillow underneath your back foot. And then bring that foot forward. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Push down through your outer left hip, hug it in, tuck the top of the right foot behind you. How about first focusing on that front leg? If the kneecap can relax while you're standing on one leg, rotate the thigh bone into neutral. Check the kneecap there. Keep that work in the front leg as you rotate the back foot from big toe to pinky toe side of the foot. Take your time. If you find specific angles that feel good to stay there, stay there. Tuning into your breath. Relaxing any clenching. What happened to the standing leg rotation or hip pressing down and hugging in to start? All right, and bring that foot forward. Grab whatever you're going to use for a calf stretch, maybe a rolled up towel, maybe a thin block. And so the first step is when you're in a thoracic stretch, two straight arms, two straight legs, sometimes it's easier to rotate your thigh bones into neutral, lift your kneecaps up and down there. If you're not clear what I mean about rotating the thigh bones into neutral, please look at the alignment skills videos under the community menu. But so then eventually you're standing, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, and you want to rotate your thigh bones into neutral and be able to lift your kneecaps up and down while standing upright. Important next step while you're standing so that you can start putting your thigh bones into neutral and using the muscles more equally around your ankles, your knees, your hips. Let's stand here for a moment, drop our right ear to our right shoulder, and just keep checking in your body what wants to happen. It might just be that you're working on feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, hips over heels, and then switch sides and with your neck, and then eventually you start adding in thigh bones rotating into neutral and kneecaps relaxing up and down. Breathing here. Relax any clenching of the legs. All right, bring your head up. Keep working on that neutral stance. Turn and look over your right shoulder. And turn and look over your left shoulder. And just standing like this is actually a lot of really great exercise. Iyengar, great yoga master, talked about how mountain pose is the most important pose of the body, and it becomes even more important with all the human biomechanics we add to it. So keep that in mind and keep working on your mountain pose. But so when we step our foot up for a top of the foot stretch, you want to step your foot up and try to work with neutral rotation of your thigh bone. So as you step your right foot up and your heel comes down, can you rotate your thigh bone into neutral without your foot turning crooked? And if you're still working on the other cues, that doesn't come yet, but eventually it will, because it will totally change your calf stretch as well. Because essentially what you're doing is when you put your thigh bone into neutral, you're putting all your muscles in the plane of motion where they would naturally reside had you not had imbalances from years of modern culture. So you can keep that rotation, maybe step your outside foot forward, and we're not going to add anything else here because we're just really paying attention to our feet straight, our ankles hip distance, our hips back over our heels, and then over time, can you rotate your thigh bones into neutral and relax your kneecaps up and down? But don't be in a rush. Get your hips back over your heels first, and it will happen over time. Okay, let's switch sides. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, and then hips over heels so you're not clenching your toes. Maybe your footsteps forward. Maybe you can rotate that thigh bone into neutral, relaxing any clenching. You will feel different muscles engage when you rotate it, but then just relax anything that feels like it's over clenching. And breathing here. And just the beauty of the calf stretch on its own. Ooh, relax clenching over and over again. Thigh muscles, buttocks muscles. There will be engagement, but just see if you notice unusual engagement on one side or the other. Relaxing the toes. All right, and release that top of the foot. You can move whatever you're using out of the way. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. You can even subtly rotate your thigh bones open as you sit back into a chair pose. So that will keep your inner thighs open, hip distance apart. Breathing here. So it comes into play also when your knees are bent, but there's no kneecap relax when your knees are bent. And then next time you sit your hips back, try to keep your left thigh steady, not collapsing out, not collapsing in as you step your right leg back into a lunge. Keep the front thigh steady and then just lift up high on your toes and reach back through your heel. But notice if your foot has to spin to one side or the other. Just go in the plane of motion that you can go kind of straight up and straight down. And there's no discomfort in the joint at all, in any of the joints, the feet, the ankle, the knees, the hips. Steady the front thigh. Okay, next time you start pushing your heel up, lifting off, press up, feet straight, ankles hip distance, sit back here. Keep your right thigh steady as your left leg steps back. Notice if the foot wanted to turn crooked, stay on the center of the ball of the foot. Steady your front thigh, keep one eye on your front thigh as you slowly lift and lower. And if the foot spins, don't go such a big range of motion. Smaller range of motion is okay. Breathing and feeling. All right, next time you lift up onto the ball of your foot, press off the ball of the foot to step up. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Sit back into a chair pose. Stretch your right leg straight ahead. Heel down, toes up. Pull your hips straight back. Notice if your ankle tends to twist one way or the other, center your ankle. So if you're not sure what centered is, your inner arch should not be facing you. Your inner arch should kind of be facing away from you. The inner arch is on the bottom of the foot, not so much on the side of the foot, even so you can see it from the side of the foot. Take that right leg out to the right a little bit and sit back into the chair pose. Breathing here. Take that right leg across in front of the left leg and sit back into the chair pose there. All right, come on up. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Sit back into the chair pose. Left leg straight ahead. Untwist the ankle, sit the hips straight back. Breathing. You can play with stretching your toes long. Sometimes that helps. Come up a little bit, step that left foot out to the left, sit the hips straight back. One bent knee, one straight leg. And then come up just a little, step that left foot over in front of the right foot and sit the hips back. Breathing, try to straighten the left leg all the way. All right, come on up, walk back, 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. So we'll do the right hand first. If it's okay, flip your palm up. If it's not okay, keep your hand down, push your hips back. Maybe working on neutral rotation of the thigh bones. How about putting that right hand over on top of your left hand? It's okay to do palm down or rotate palm up. And pull your hips back any amount. Breathing here. You can move your hips a little bit side to side. Okay, bring your right hand back to the right side of the chair. Keep your left hand on the left side. Maybe flip your palm up. So most of the weight pushing down is through your right hand. Back your hips up. Rotate that arm bone. How about bringing the left hand over on top of the right hand, palm face down or up. Back your hips up, relax your belly so your tailbone goes into the air. Check the alignment of your thigh bones, the alignment of your ankles. You can shift your hips a little bit side to side. Breathing. And then bring that hand back and walk back up to the chair. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Sit back into a chair pose. Stretch your right leg long. Push your hips back. And now keep your right heel in line with your right outer hip bone and just rotate your right thigh bone. Turn it all the way one way, all the way the other way. Nice straight leg. And pause. Pause when you turn it out. Pull your hips back a little. Rotate the thigh bone in. Pause. Pull your hips back a little. Come back to center. Step that right foot back. Sit your hips back. Left heel forward. Hip, knee, ankle in line. Flex the ankle. Sit your hips back and rotate that thigh bone a little bit in and out. It's okay if it's a really small motion. Tuning into the breath. Next time you turn the thigh bone out, hold. Turn the thigh bone in, hold, pull the hips back a little bit. Breathing, check the alignment of your right foot, your right knee, your right hip. Bring the foot back to center, press up, walk back, 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. Maybe rotating the thigh bones into neutral, back your hips up, elbows point straight to the floor as you bend and straighten, backing your hips up more. Bend and straighten. 2 more like that. Bend and straighten and bend and straighten. And then from there, go ahead and walk back up to the chair. Actually, let's stand up and step your right foot forward, your left foot back foot and front foot pretty straight. So instead of that back foot turning out, try to rotate it a little more straight. Your right leg is forward. Reach your left arm up into the air. Side bend over to the right. Reach long through both of your legs. And then bring that left arm up, palms face up, and turn just your upper body towards your right leg. Feel the waist turn. Ground from the buttocks into the heels. Breathing. Unwind, hips face the back of the chair. Rotate into a half forward fold. Notice if those back toes turn open, it's more likely your back hip is going to turn open. So rotate that foot straight as long as it doesn't bother your ankle and push your hips straight back. Tuning into your breath. And then switch legs. Your left foot steps forward, your right leg sticks back. Ankles hip distance, feet both pretty straight. Reach your right arm up into the air. Ground from the buttocks into the heels. Side bend to the left, breathing. Open your arms out to the side, palms rotate up. Turn from just the upper body, the waist. Check in with your legs. Are the buttocks reaching to the heels? Maybe you can even work on rotating your thigh bones a little bit. Your legs are very straight. Feel the waist turn. And then unwind your waist, squaring your hips to face the chair. Good opportunity to check that right foot. Rotate from the pelvis as you hinge forward. Breathing here, backing your thigh bones up. Okay, come on up. Step your back foot forward, sit back into a chair pose. Actually, before we sit back into chair pose, walk your feet wider than the chair. So you're in a wide chair pose, not super wide. Sit back into a chair pose. Now your right leg is out to the right wide. Step your left foot back, but keep a wider stance. You're wider than hip distance. So it's like you're in a wide lunge. Press long through your back leg as you bend your elbows and straighten. But notice the legs, they're not moving. The knee is not going forward and back. The hips aren't moving. It's just the upper body bending and straightening. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Push off the ball of the back foot, step up into a wide chair pose, sit back, step your right leg back, but wide, so you've got more than hip distance. Front knee right over your ankle, you're on the center of the ball of your back foot, then it's just your upper body. It doesn't matter how much. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. 2 more like that. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Push off your back heel, press up to step up, and then you're going to turn the seat of the chair around to face you. And you're going to put your hands on the chair, and if you find that your spine is really rounding here, have your hands up higher. Put some blocks or some books or something under your hands to get your spine a little bit higher. Even some folded up towels will work. Relax your belly so your tailbone's in the air. Press through the palms of your hands equally. How about working on turning your elbow pits forward here? That's the soft front part of your elbow. If your elbows push in front of your wrist, back up a little. So it's just like we're on all fours here. We're on all fours. All I want you to do is relax your belly as much as you can to the floor. So ribs up, especially if you easily have that curve of your spine. Relax your belly. Really relax your lower belly here. This is a great exercise in itself. The right side, the left side. And in order for me to completely relax my belly, I have to be quiet for a moment because your muscles naturally engage when you're doing stuff. So relax your belly. Really let it hang. Believe it or not, the more your belly is able to relax over time, the more your belly is able to contract and your core will get stronger and stronger. How about focusing on feet straight, ankles hip distance apart? Maybe rotating your thigh bones into neutral here. As your belly relaxes, maybe your tailbone naturally goes a little bit more up into the air. All right, how about keeping your elbow pits wrapping forward? Particularly watch your right arm as you lift your left arm off the chair. And then keep your left elbow pit wrapping forward as you reach your right arm off the chair. And how about go side to side, but notice as you lift one arm, does your elbow want to rotate? So can you keep your elbow pit rotating forward as you lift and lower one arm at a time? Breathing. Okay, so again, if you're here and your spine is rounded, bring your hands up higher, but back your weight up into your heels, push down through your left hip, hug it in, reach that right leg behind you. How about focusing on wrapping your elbow pits forward as you reach back through that leg? Breathing. And then lower the foot down, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Maybe working with thigh bones in neutral. Focus on your upper body, pressing equally through the palms, wrapping the elbow pits forward as you push down through the opposite leg and lift the opposite leg into the air. Keep working on the upper body. What's the upper body doing? Breathing. And then lower that foot down, back your weight up into your heels, release your hands from the chair, reach one arm forward, pull your hand gently back, maybe rotating your elbow pit towards the ceiling. Switch, other hand, pull your wrist gently back, maybe rotating your elbow pit towards the ceiling, hips back over the heels. Release, turn your chair back around. Now we're going to do calf raises here and double calf stretch. So you'll want either 2 thin blocks side by side or a rolled up towel that's long enough or an extra rolled up mat. And we're going to do feet turned in, lift and lower. But if you have a chair in front of you, there's a tendency to lift and pitch yourself forward. So you want to try not to pitch yourself forward, but to go straight up and down. So sometimes using a wall next to you is a little bit easier because it allows you to more feel that you're going straight up and down instead of having your hands forward to the chair. So with your feet pigeon-toed, lift and lower your heels. Press down very equally through the balls of the feet. And the less you pitch yourself forward, the harder it is to get your heels up and down off the ground. But that's what you're working for. You're working for it. It's almost challenging sometimes when I try to lift up unless I pitch forward. So you're working to really feel that work. And then let's switch. Turn your toes out to the sides and lift and lower there, but try to pitch forward less. Try to feel like you're going straight up and down. And when I really go straight up and down, it's hard sometimes for me to even get my heels off the ground. Press equally through the balls of the feet. And then how about with the outer edges of your feet straight? And lift and lower. And try not to pitch yourself forward. And the less you pitch yourself forward, you'll notice it's quite a bit more work to get your heels up off the floor. Okay, let's step up to the double calf stretch. Pigeon-toed first, heels out, toes in, hips push straight back. And if it's okay on your ankles, if you don't feel any pulling in your ankles at all, over time, try to pigeon-toe your feet a little bit more. Relax any clenching in the thigh muscles, the buttocks muscles. Okay, switch. Turn your toes out to the side with your feet hip distance apart. And for today, kind of go out as far as you can. I mean, of course, there's a limit because you have to keep your foot somewhat up on the block. But push your hips back here. Push down equally through the balls of your feet. Center the weight on the center of your heels. Relax any clenching. All right, come up and outer edges of the feet very straight. Heels as wide as pinky toes. It might feel like they're pigeon-toed a little bit. You can rotate your thigh bones into neutral as you back your hips up, straightening the legs all the way. Breathing. Just layers and layers of tension in the hips from all those years of wearing tennis shoes with heels, and if you wore high heels, even more layers of tension, all the chair sitting. So it just takes time to keep unwinding and winding and winding deeper layers. And sometimes you'll do these and you'll just feel like, oh, this is not as extreme as it used to be, and then it'll almost go back to feeling more sensation because you're unwinding another layer of tension. All right, and then slowly come up and have a seat in your chair. Please take your time. Be aware of the way that you sit down. Moving props out of the way. Sitting down without falling. Start by walking your feet all the way together. And then thighs together. Rotate forward from your pelvis. Hinge forward any amount. Breathing into the sides and the backs of your ribs. Come up, walk your feet about hip distance apart. Rotate forward from the pelvis. Doesn't matter how far you go. Okay, let's try. Walk our feet a little bit wider. Excuse me, I got a hiccup. Turn your feet in a little, pigeon toe your feet. Go slow, hinge forward here. So you might not go as much. You might feel this work kind of in your inner arch, your outer calves. Don't force anything. Relax any clenching. Come up. Spin your feet out to the sides a bit. Center the heels. Hinge forward here. Notice if you're rolling to your inner ankle, outer ankle, center your ankles. And then come up and turn the outer edges of the feet very straight. So you got to spin the heels as wide as the pinky toes and hinge forward here. Your feet are a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Okay, walk your feet wider. Turn your toes out to the side slightly so your knees are pointing in the direction of your toes. Hold onto the chair behind you. Bend your elbows, hug them in towards each other. Breathing here, pelvis upright, ribs relax down and back, yet ears slide back over the shoulders. If you're holding up on the high back of your chair, lower your hands down a little bit so that your shoulders can relax away from your neck, away from your ears. Ooh, my hands just want to slide down the chair a little bit more. Okay, so your feet are come upright, your feet are turned out to the side. Just walk your feet out a little bit, but keep your knees bent. Inner thighs open here. Sit up tall in your pelvis and just gently open your inner thighs away from each other. So it's like you're spinning your own inner thighs open and trying to tilt your pelvis a little bit more upright. Okay, let your hips roll back a little. Walk your feet back into hip distance apart. And then from here, let's reach our right arm up and over into a side bend. Feel the waist, the ribs, the armpit, all the way up through the elbow, the wrist, the fingers. Left arm goes up and over, pelvis upright, ribs relax down. Feel the waist, the hip, the ribs, the armpit, the elbow, the wrist, the fingers. I might have said a couple of those things twice. That's okay. And bring that arm down. Bring your hand to the center of your breastbone. Pull down on the skin. So mine is right where my mic would be, but right to the center of your breastbone. Pull down on the skin. Your hands will be like this, but a little lower. Pull down on the skin. Reach your chin up into the air. Maybe push your bottom jaw forward. Breathing through the nose. Let your chin come down. Pelvis upright. Ribs relax down. Twist the belly button to the right. As you twist to the right, notice do your ribs slide to one side. Can you center your ribs and turn the ribs together as one unit? Unwind, ribs center. So sometimes as we twist our waist to the side, the ribs slide to one side. So think of your ribs staying center as you twist your belly button to the other side. For some people, that will be a non-issue. Breathing here. Come back to center, come back to your hands on your breastbone, lower than my hands. Pull down gently on the skin, lift that chin up into the air, push your bottom jaw forward, and this time maybe move your head a little side to side. Feeling and breathing. Slowly. Bring your neck and head down, release your hands. Walk your feet just a little bit in front of your ankles, but enough that your feet can stay flat on the floor. So it's almost like see how far you can walk them out, that they can stay flat and your knees stay bent. And hinge forward here any amount. Relaxing, clenching around the buttocks, around the thighs. Okay, press up. Make sure you feel secure you're on your chair. Now you're going to stretch your heels forward, so like we do in a forward fold, but keep your knees slightly bent. So instead of straightening your legs all the way, keep that little bend in your knees as you flex your ankles. Keep the knee bend and hinge forward nice and slowly here from your pelvis. Ankles flex, heels down, toes up, but you still have a bend in your knees as you fold forward. Relax your lower belly, just like we did when we had our hands down on the chair. Relax your lower belly that much. And then come up nice and slowly and stretch your legs all the way straight, heels down, toes up, and just slowly fold forward any amount here. Relax your belly. And then slowly come up, and you're ready to sit all the way back in your chair. Gosh, that feels like it went fast for me today. Sit your hips back. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close. Become very present with your body, with your breath. Every time the mind wanders away, accept that that's the nature of the mind. Patiently bring your awareness back to feeling your body, scanning your body, being present with your body, with unconditional acceptance for whatever you experience, without trying to fix anything, just observing and being aware. Stay present with your body, with your breath. Did I offer peace today? Did I bring a smile to someone's face? Did I say words of healing? Did I let go of my anger and resentment? Did I forgive? Did I love? These are the real questions. Did I offer peace today? Did I bring a smile to someone's face? Did I say words of healing? Did I let go of my anger and resentment? Did I forgive? Did I love? These are the real questions. Take a few more moments with your body, your breath. Full acceptance from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, even if just for a moment. Bringing your hands together at heart center. In gratitude for this day, feel that gratitude for this day. Namaste.